The founder of the Global Empowerment Movement USA, GEM, Queen Blessing has taken on fresh challenges in her drive to mobilize game changers that will transform Africa. Queen Blessing, the recipient of a raft of awards and recognition, is now reaching out to unite people of African descent in the United States, Europe, and across the world to come back home. According to her, there are many Africans in the diaspora itching to come home, but have no idea how to go about it. She believes these Africans have learned a lot out there in the diaspora. In fact, she's now writing a book that will inspire diasporian Africans to accept who they are and recognize their potential and come together for Africa's development.
As a matter of fact, I am working on a book, in this regard, talking about who we are, accepting who we are as Africans, and then working with other people of African descent and coming together as a global family to desire to change Africa and transform Africa into the Africa we want. That is not a one-man's person, it's all of us, and each and every one of us is valuable in doing that.
She admits there are challenges back home.
There are many of us in the diaspora, and that is why it's a brain drain for Africa. That's why it's really, what needs to happen is the diaspora, which is the blood line, which is the game now. So we need to first of all understand the value of who we are in the diaspora and be willing to work with our people back home. Sometimes the environment is not conducive, but who are we going to leave the motherland for if we don't do this? There has to be a way. So my appeal is that the government should understand that there are many of us in the diaspora who truly want to come home, but many don't know how and who to go to. And the other thing I'm actually working on is people of African descent, period, not just people that were born in Africa. The people of African descent, whether they came here years ago, over 400 years ago, through the transatlantic slavery or not. People of African descent, that's one of the other things I'm spearheading. The AU6 region, USA, is another organization that I'm the chair of here in the US, where we talk about uniting people of African descent. They need to know how to reconnect back home. And I mean, this is really weighing on my heart, and you can see that, when I talk about this is dear to my heart. Africa, we can't transform Africa into the motherland that we want, but we must unite first. We must unite. So we cannot get everybody on this, to come and say, okay, we are now together. But the few of us that understand the value of what we can do, let's do it. I am African. I am the blessing. That is the way we all should see ourselves. So that way, we don't have to wait to see what is my country going to do for me, or what is Africa going to do for me. No, it's what can I do to make a difference? Because you are the blessing. Africa is blessed. Africa is rich. We are blessed. And that which makes us beautiful, that which makes us so smart, is because of the African in us. So this is why the talk that we are not Africans because we are born in Africa, but because African is born in us, is truly the global empowerment movement is really out to continue to advocate for the voiceless ones. Now, we're very passionate about human trafficking, but beyond the human trafficking, we believe that the reason, first of all, that the human trafficking in Africa is kind of different from the human trafficking we see here in the US. Of course, we talk about the coercion and the deceit and all of that stuff. Yeah, that's part of it. But the motivation, or the what I call the reason behind, the roots behind many of the things we see in Africa, when people willingly allow themselves to want to travel or move, is not mainly because of the human trafficking from the way we see it here in America. It is mainly because they are seeking for greener pastures outside. So when they see what's going on in the US or what's going on in their own motherland, in their communities, they feel like they need to do whatever they can to get out of that situation, to migrate to other countries. And especially when they see us, So I don't blame them. It is because of the the infrastructural development, or whether it's even security, peace, war, just name it. It is because the motherland needs to be developed. It is because the motherland is all of us. So my heart goes out to people who are now at the bottom of the Mediterranean Sea. They don't belong there. It breaks my heart.
Also, her GEM USA is largely about giving a voice to the world's voiceless, especially women and children. Etua's interaction with many Africans around the world fires up her desire to intervene. She believes these are also Africans because Africa is in them, though they were not born on the continent.
We are the blessings of our communities. We are the blessings of Africa. And we must see ourselves as the solution to the issues that we see in Africa. And I'm going to repeat it again, that Africa is not a dark continent. Africa is not poor. It is poor because of the way people see it and because of the way things are. But Africa is truly rich. Africa is rich and Africa is blessed, and Africa has us. We are well educated. Many of us are very well traveled. So why can't we do what we need to do? So this is why I want us to rethink and think about our initiative, our mindset, just to transform the way we think and the way we feel about Africa. Because until we start to see that Africa is blessed and that we have a role to play in her development, then things are still going to continue to be the way they are. But until we see ourselves as the blessings of Africa, and until Africa changes, the world is still going to be looking at people of African descent the way it is. So we must see ourselves as the people who can change the narratives, not just for Africa, but for the world as a whole. We are one, and we must learn to speak with one voice, as a one people and a one continent. That's my message, especially those of us in the diaspora. My heart, goes to people who are people of African descent, Americans, for example, who have never been home before. I see a lot of them. I talk to a lot of them during this course of AU's region work that I'm doing, uniting the people of African descent in the USA. On this journey, I've seen and interacted with so many people who are so passionate about going back to the motherland, and they didn't know how to be reconnected. My message is for them. My message is for you, people of African descent in the USA and across the globe. There is hope. There is hope. Just know that you are not African because you were born in Africa, because you were not born in Africa, but Africa is born in you. And so I am because you are. You are because I am. And together we can make our world a better place. We can transform Africa. That's my word for you. We're coming, organizing different meetings and making a call. Please be willing to work with us. It will take all of us and our willingness to listen to one another to really make this change. And until we work together, we're still going to have the issues. But just know that Africa is ready. Africa is ready for each and every one of us. It's calling us. We are the children. We have to go back and not drain it, but instead let's give it the gain that it wants. We have been privileged to be to be outside of Africa. It means that we have had opportunity of learning different things other than what we do in Africa, right? So now, whatever we've learned, whatever education we have received here, whatever training we have received here, Africa needs us to show it. We can advocate for our motherland, and as we do, our future generation will be happier and better for it.
Queen Blessing has always been a source of encouragement for development of champions and watchers around the world who keep recognizing and appreciating her efforts. Apart from the Obama Lifetime Achievement Award, she's also bagged other laurels from London, Germany, America, and other parts of the world. She insisted she never seeks out recognition and will never get giddy with all of those honors.
It's amazing. I just am excited, I'm honored, I'm humbled at the same time, and I know that this honor is not for me it's not going to make my head big. Instead, it's called to serve. And just like when I wear my pin, the Obama Lifetime Achievement Award, pin, what that reminds me is it's actually called to serve.
That you are receiving another award in Atlanta, so I would love to show everyone your beautiful Royal Award. Thank you. You deserve it.
Thank you.
And everyone loved all that you're doing for the United Nations, for the children. She's a writer, she's a producer, an actress, an advocate, a humanitarian. The list goes on and on and on. So we're very proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Each other award that I received, like the Queen Ada Award, which is an honor, is yet another reminder that I have so much work to do. I still have a lot of work to do, and I'm still but to be recognized for that you are doing something, you are making sacrifices, it's a blessing. So I'm truly honored, humbled, grateful to the host of the to the host and the publisher of the magazine for recognizing me, and that's Europe. That is not America. I've received awards across the globe now. Of course, actually, I've received one in Germany, Frankfurt, Germany, a while ago, and then now in London. And the same day that I received the London award, I was receiving another one here in America. So, but those they come, and I'm grateful that I'm recognized for the work that I do. But it's also humbling. And so I'm humbled that people recognize that. So this is why I'm going to use this opportunity to appeal to each and every one of us. I didn't seek for any of this. I got a call, I didn't know, right? So I call it serving secret. Many people don't know that you are doing the work, like I'm doing the work. People ask, really? Who is she? Or what did she do? They start to read that, oh, wow. So to me, I feel like the more I do what I have to do without seeking for publicity, without even having to, sometimes I'm not even able to pay the media to do anything. I'm not going to be honest with you. But the fact of the matter is that just do whatever you can. Serve in secret, and the God who says in secret will reward you openly. So I'm honored and I'm grateful to God. I'm grateful to the organizers and those people who have nominated me in these various areas, these various awards. I'm grateful to them as well.
Her NGO, with its global award, has equally recognized those she calls iconic champions of change, using their platforms to impact lives.
The Global Empowerment Movement, GEM, USA, has a fabulous event where we honored our own trailblazers, those who we call the Blessings of Africa. They are the ones leading the iconic, we call them iconic champions of change in the communities. So as you know, we need to have people who understand the value of taking charge in championing change and changing our own narratives. So we are excited that there are people who are selflessly doing the work of the development in their own various communities. So we believe it is worth recognizing and celebrating them. Dr. Haji was very excited to be at our event. As you know, the First Lady, just like she said, the First Lady of Nigeria was honored with a Distinguished Global Award for the work she's doing, amazing work she's doing in Nigeria, about the same time last year. So the First Lady is actually the special guest of honor and the keynote speaker at our event, but represented by Dr. Haji Sani, her senior special assistant to the president. So we were glad and happy to have her. She spoke very well about Her Excellency wanting to be at our event but couldn't make it, but she graciously allowed her to come and represent her. And she was excited and letting people know that the value of actually being recognized for the work that they do is a blessing, because now they know receiving that award is to spur them on to continue to do the work, the good work that they are already doing, that they are recognized for.
The first of these recipients was Nigerian's First Lady, Aisha Buhari, in 2018, followed by the Gambia First Lady, Fatoumata Barbaro.
The Gambia First Lady is an amazing woman. When I honored the First Lady of Nigeria in 2018, she was one of the first ladies, African first ladies that we at our event, and we spoke briefly. And just that brief moment, I realized, whatever we talked about was very encouraging, and I know that she ended to look more into what she was doing. So my team and I reviewed what she was doing and what she's doing currently for her, for Gambia, and we realized that yes, she truly deserves to be recognized for the work that she's doing, and we're looking forward to working with her to ensure that as the mother of the nation, that we support her to doing more for her people. That is the purpose of recognition, but it's not just, we just don't recognize people just like that. We recognize them because they are truly doing the work that needs to be done to develop using their own platform. That's very important that we know, because many people are in the office, they are not using their own platform to promote the change or leave a legacy. She's an example, using her own platform as the First Lady to impacting lives, and we're honored to support her and join voices with her on the global stage to celebrate her.
Barbaro is already in talk with GEM on how they can partner in the public health system of the Gambia, since Queen Blessing is a public health expert.
The Gambia First Lady has a list of things that she's doing, a list of things. But we actually honored her for her foundation regarding the children, the youths, and the women. And so, as a matter of fact, I sat down with her just yesterday. And part of the things that she's passionate about is health and wellness. And you know what she said to me? She said, I know you're a public health practitioner. And so we need your help, public health. And it's like she said, you're the Panadol to heal, to heal the stuff. And she was telling me about the difficulties, the challenges they have in Gambia regarding the medical equipment and stuff. So those are the kind of things that we are looking into, because just hearing that from her was so touchy for me to know that she is deeply touched by the fact that she's advocating for her own people. She's looking for whatever she can do, whoever she can work with, whoever is willing to work with them or work with her to help her and join forces to developing her own country, especially in regards to women, education, of course, youth, and health and wellness, very dear to her heart. So Gambia is ready, just like Nigeria. Africa is actually ready for business. So we encourage not just these particular two countries, Africa, Nigeria or Gambia, but as the Blessings of Africa, as you know, that's what I advocate. We are the Blessings of Africa, reshaping our greatness together. So as the Blessings of Africa, we need to look at beyond just a particular country or the country of origin and see that we are the blessings of our own motherland, and together we can transform the motherland into the Africa that we really want.
Enjoy, relax, explore, discover. Fascinating Nigeria.
The sunshine.